Hello, advisors, and welcome to a quick demo of the Syndio Health platform in its current state. So, again, thank you for your patience with us getting this release out. It's basically there, and we're in the final throes, but to protect your investment and ensure the best likelihood of success, we wanted to make sure some critical bugs and the full testing that's necessary was done. So, walk through some features on a higher level view to keep this video shorter, and that'll be a little bit long. I won't go super in depth. You guys can do that with the link and then reach out and we can hop on a phone call. So to start, you can see the basic information on the condition at the top, but the big difference from our platform to other health information platforms is that you can see every treatment, and it's done in a simple design across desktop and across mobile, and it is really hard to do that. And I really do want to give a shout out to John on doing an incredible job with the designs, because making it responsive to where all of this changes depending on the screen size is really not an easy feat. So to start off, there's 175 different treatments, which kudos to Julie on writing all of that. But to search through all that would be a lot more difficult if you had to scroll. And so one of the core features that we have here is a search feature. And let's search something common like Xanax. Most people don't know that alprazolam is actually the name for Xanax. So in order to make our search as sophisticated as possible, we made it to where you can search by the general name, the scientific name, the subtypes. For example, with yoga, if you're searching Hatha yoga, we made it so that can all actually show up, which makes it a lot easier so you don't feel lost, and it all shows up on this page so you're not bouncing around. And that's thanks to Vivek doing a great job on the search. So with sort and filter, you can filter and sort by the different categories of treatments that you want to look at. Let's say I just want to look at lifestyle modifications, then I can see all the lifestyle modifications that are out there. And obviously we'll be putting in reviews with the influencers before we release it. But let's say I want to go ahead and go through a review flow. So let's say something like codeine. First of all, when I go to codeine, I can see very simple information on the treatment. There's no extra fluff, no extra crap that you don't want to see. It's really to the point, which is not the case in the other health information platforms. And we made it very immediate to be able to see all of this information, which we wrote 100% from scratch and got reviewed. And to our knowledge, in looking at all the content licensing options, we're the first ones to put all of this information in a database as it relates to a treatment, as it relates to a condition, and then as it's going to relate to people's profiles as they do reviews, and to have done it in a relational way, which means we can manipulate every piece of information from that, which that data is incredible once we hit a bit of scale, and even in its current state, just written. So when I'm on this, I can look at the average reviews and an aggregate level of what's reported and the ratings. I can go through and read individual reviews, and if I found this helpful or I want to save it to my account, then I can do it as well. And all the helpful content goes up towards the top. So if I go through a review, you'll notice that the numbers are already listed, and that's because I'd been starting this review before and I didn't get to finish it, and so I'm coming back later, and we made it to where you don't lose all that information if you leave. But we tried to make it a simple 4-step process, even though it is a heavy amount of information that we are asking for. Once I go through, I click the type that I did of this general medication. If this was yoga, I could pick Hatha yoga as a subtype, for example, which form, which route, the doses, how often. And then in step 3, we made it a lot easier for you to add your benefits and your side effects, so that instead of having to remember off the top of your head, you can actually just search and pick from a list here. And see, that's a slight bug, for example, that both of those added, and those are some of the final things that we want to fix here. On, side effects, maybe my main side effects was drowsiness, and then I go to my last step, and you'll notice that I already had my review here from before, and I submit. And now that's in my account, I can see it, and then a slight bug here on styling, which is part of what we want to do at the end to professionalize things. So let's say that it did make me drowsy and I actually want to ask a question about codeine. I can go ahead and go to the questions section and see, one posted by Vivek previously. It has one response on it. I'm going to save because I want to look at that later. But then I also can go ahead and post my question, which is, does anyone know a way of dealing with drowsiness from codeine without caffeine? And the reason I'm asking that is because caffeine makes me extremely anxious, so I'd prefer another option, an alternate route or something along those lines, right? And I could come back and fix that later. And if I post, then boom, my question posts, that post to the general fibromyalgia section, and then I can view all of this information in my user profile, anything that I have, for example, my health information, any of my contributions, for example, reviews, questions, including the one I just asked about coding. I can see any of my saved content, treatments, reviews, questions, and it really becomes a repository for me to learn how to manage my condition. And as we hit a larger scale, the personalization of this can become massive in terms of sorting and finding treatments based on personal relevance to you of what's worked for people similar and what hasn't. So that's a quick demo. You guys are more than welcome to go through the link yourselves and reach out if you'd like to hop on a phone call. Thank you.